Israel's not a member of the ICC. The United States, Israel's biggest ally, also not a member of the ICC. So how big of a deal is this realistically?
Mhm. Well, I think, again, the fact that the Rome Statute requires certain things before the ICC can intervene. First, again, jurisdiction, right? Either membership or that the crimes alleged need to occur in the member's territory. The ICC has allowed a state that is not a state or an entity that is not a state to become a member. So they're already step one is questionable. Step two is the principle of complementarity, meaning the ICC will not intervene in a case where a country has an independent judiciary like Israel that is willing or able to conduct investigations or prosecutions into the crimes alleged on its own, right? Again, Israel has a respected judiciary, which is so fiercely independent that the government spent the year prior to the Gaza war pushing the judicial overhaul to reduce its independence because they were saying it's too strong, and that failed, right? The judiciary's power in Israel remains the same. Gali Bahar of Miara, the Attorney General, who's kind of the head of the Israeli judiciary for all intents and purposes under Israeli law, not just is her position entirely independent. She's a fiercely independent holder of office who has been a thorn in the side of the government. She herself has called for the State Commission of Inquiry into the Gaza war once it finishes to also investigate war crimes. Israel has done this in the past. So all the criteria for the ICC's intervention have not been fulfilled, and nevertheless, the ICC basically put a conclusion that they want to investigate Israel's actions first, and then basically fit the law to fit that to match that conclusion. This has implications for a country like the United States, which is also not a member of the ICC, and which we've been dragged into conflicts with actors similar to Hamas in the past, and I can expect we'll have that in the future. So it puts us on notice that these supranational bodies that are unaccountable to anyone will end up overriding our sovereignty, even when their own statutes prevent them from doing so.
Like you said, Netanyahu can't exactly step off a plane and hide behind anonymity. He's pretty recognizable. But what are the chances of him actually getting arrested here in one of these ICC countries? Would that happen, or does this just hamstring Israel? What does this all mean?
So there is the possibility of arrest, right? I think there's kind of the immediate impact and there's the long-term impact. The immediate impact is that, again, there are something like 123 plus, give or take, countries that are members of the ICC. Some of these are allies of the state of Israel, right? And Prime Minister Netanyahu may have to go there for official state business. Canada, for example, an ally ostensibly of the state of Israel, said it will enforce the ICC decision. But also imagine, right, Israel's chief ally is the United States. It's a 12-hour flight. What if Prime Minister Netanyahu's plane has to stop off in France or the United Kingdom or another ICC member state because of refueling or predictable technical difficulties? They could be arrested then. So that's step one. The other part, and this is the long-term part, right? This is the part that Hamas is celebrating. It's the delegitimization of the state of Israel's exercise of its right of self-defense. It's the idea, it's this creating the idea that Israeli self-defense, the exercise of Israeli self-defense is synonymous with criminality, synonymous with genocide. We've seen this push to use law to delegitimize Israel's exercise of its right of self-defense from the outset of this war. I mean, we've seen it prior to this, but definitely kind of on steroids, if you will, from the outset of this war, between the case filed by South Africa at the ICJ and now this. And that's the long-term impact, that anytime Israel goes to exercise its right of self-defense, this is another thing it has to worry about. And the very exercise of self-defense is tainted with the idea that Israel is not a law-abiding country, that its army is not a law-abiding army that is adhering to the laws of war, but it's committing acts of starvation and murder and so on and so forth.